Today is December 27th of 2023, so if you had a very Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or whatever else that may be in the world that you may be celebrating, I wish you warm holidays, happy holiday cheer, and also good fucking health, because sorry, but your boy, basically, after the Vegas Open, this was early December, like December 8th, December 9th, right? I came back, touch home base, being chillin', I was okay, I was good to go, and then, fucking 4 or 5 days later, I just got hit with a strep throat. Like the worst I think it was strep throat, I don't know what it was, but like something that was really, really bad. I could not talk. That's how bad it was. I could not talk. I could barely mutter out whispers, but it was not enough, and I was coughing like crazy. So it was just not something that I could really, I couldn't really make videos during that time or stream either throughout that period of time. And actually, funny enough, my LP tanked like a shitload. We made it back today. If you came by stream, you saw me average like a 2. Yeah. But I digress. Going back into our none older, the fucking all reliable dish soap VOD review. And this is the first video back of basically like the end of 2023 of December, really. I've only posted like 3 videos throughout December, but we're here, we're back, gonna be coming back with you with a bunch of VOD reviews, bunch of guides, bunch of new original content. So I hope you guys are sticking around, staying tuned, because I have missed talking. I like talking, and it fucking sucks when I can't talk sometimes. I mean, I don't like talking a lot. I'm pretty introverted, but in the comfort of my home, yeah, I like talking. So, here we are. Also, there's a hair in my mouth. Excuse me. Anyways, going into here, 1-3, we are given the training dummy realm and a Corky with a 2 8-bit fucking headliner, which surprisingly enough, Digital actually doesn't pick up. I think he's probably contemplating. Yep. So he thinks that he's probably getting an econ start from this opener. So he was like, I don't know if I should really pick it up or not in case I'm not able to make 10, but already able to make 10. It's really fucking sick. And he's already in a really good spot. He has a lot of money, and you can even consider potentially open forting. There's been a lot of discussion about potentially open forting, whether or not that is actually the correct way to be playing the game. Also, he didn't make 20 here, which kind of sucks. But nonetheless, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I've definitely done it myself. It really does depend on, the game and the way it flows, but we'll get more to that later. Anyways, 2-1 augments, scapegoat, remember your roots, and do it for the fans. Out of all of these, none of these are that great. Scapegoat, by the way, if you don't know, if you have a training dummy that isn't the exact training dummy that the game gives you, for example, we have the training dummy on our field, right? But we have Scapegoat. And we took Scapegoat, but the other training dummy dies first. We don't get the gold. It's really fucking stupid. I don't know why it's coded like that, but it just is. So, quite honestly, I'm not a fan of this too much. I would probably lean Scapegoat, but to be honest, I would reroll left side and middle for myself. But these are all, not that great. So let's see what we get. We have Buried Treasures, Infusion, Caretakers. These are all really great. Caretakers, I think, has the highest average amongst all of these. It's a 4.3, but Buried is a 4.4. So Caretakers is definitely better, and it makes a lot of sense. You get the full value out of Caretakers once you hit level 8. It's a very strong level 8 meta right now. A lot of forecasts are very, very contested. Stuff like Ezreal, stuff like Caitlyn. So Caretakers probably makes the most sense out of all of these. I don't know why the video paused itself, my bad. And we are left with 20 gold, and we are basically considering the open fort here. Basically, we just do want to lose every single fight. Excuse me. By the way, I forget if I mentioned this already, but if I'm coughing throughout the video, I apologize. I'm recovered, but not to the extent where I'm not coughing anymore. I'm still coughing here and there. So if I'm coughing now and then, I apologize, but I like this opener for Dish Soap. Really the one component with the 20 gold. The basically Caretakers will help us in the late game. Will really spike like crazy with all the components. We do make all the components back later down the line with all the neutrals, and we are just trying to make 30 here, and we are chilling. It's really prudent of him to be also scouting just to make sure that if he does open fort, he does lose. There is somebody else who is also considering the open fort with just the jacks and nothing else. So in very Dish Soap like manner, very, very smart of him, he decides to just sell everything on his board, so he is not left with anything else, and he actually loses here, which is really, really great. There's one button hero guy, definitely should have also open sold completely and just committed to it, in my opinion, but nonetheless, it is what it is. It looks like they're potentially trying to lose streak for a Jax play, but I'm not really sure. But anyways, one open forter is down, and it's really good for him, by the way, because once one open forter loses, the rest of the open forters will usually stop open forting because it doesn't really make sense. So it's almost like a video. It's a little mini game almost. Can you dodge all the other open forters? This guy is also open forting, but he's playing fucking Heartsteel. So excuse me. I was supposed to pick up some cough drops earlier today, but then I ran out of time because, funny enough, I was actually VOD reviewing dish soap. This entire fucking VOD, by the way, starting from the 2 at the top of the tracker all the way to the 4, I watched every single one of those games, and I was like, I don't want to VOD review any of this. It, like, he played well. He didn't have like the best day, but he played well. But then it wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, this was interesting. But this game, I was like, oh, it was interesting, you know? It just took me like, you know, like 3 hours of like scrubbing through VODs to like, you know, find an interesting game. But anyways, considering the open 4 here, continuing the game, we're left with nothing but a training dummy. And I mean, there's not much else to really talk about. There isn't much else that you can really do. Pouty Rin seems to also been Poutrin. Oh. I think they're so... Wait, what's going on? Oh, is this what happens when two... Oh, dude. I'm pretty sure Dish Soap is the one that traveled though, right? So he's not getting the he wins here. Is that how that works? I'm gonna fast forward. How does this work? They both lost. Wow. Wait, so okay. So I did not know that. So that's so crazy because I remember VOD reviewing this and I was like, oh, you open 4, that's gonna be interesting to talk about. But no, holy shit, it turns out that if you are in the training dummy realm, you can't fuck up an open fort. You just can't. So, wow. Because it becomes a stalemate, right? And then they both lose. Wow. That's kind of cool. I did not know that. That's actually pretty fucking sick. I actually do wonder if let's say, for example, you did take Scapegoat in here, and then it's just 2 dummies versus 1 dummy, I'm pretty sure Poutrin would have also lost like a shitload of HP. So, they would have lost like extra HP versus the 1 dummy. But that's a cool interaction. I've never fucking known that before. That's sick. Anyways, bow. Let's see. We have a bow and an open sword. So really good components to be working around. A lot of the biggest and most prominent slams right now in terms of itemization are usually things like red buff, things like IE. These are items that are really great on units like Caitlyn and Ezreal, but they're also... Actually, red buff is actually okay on Caitlyn, in my opinion. I don't think it's like amazing on her. But it's like if you miss Ezreal and then you're playing Caitlyn, then you play red buff Caitlyn and then you just pivot later. But nonetheless, it looks like we are given... Let's see. We have sword, quick glove, sword, bow, rod, cloak, belt. So it's looking to me, by the way, the best way to kill cloak, in my opinion, is probably Evan Shroud. It's just... It gives you armor shred, which is great. Because you don't really want to itemize last whispers on your carries in general. It's just not really good practice. So Evan Shroud definitely for sure here. We do have 2 swords. I am kind of down for the chain, to be honest, just because it kills the rod, and killing rod is so fucking hard. It's easily the worst component in the game right now. So getting Crown Guard in, getting the Evan Shroud kills both the cloak and the rod with decent items for the front line, and we can work with like sword, bow. I don't really like Deathblade very much, but sword is very easy to work around. So I think that's probably what I would do in this scenario. Yep. Makes sense. And it looks like we have level, let's look at KDA, level to 6, get another component, get another bow, so we get the red buff. Very good. So I like this a lot. We are working around 2 open swords, which is a little awkward, but nonetheless, still really great. And no, you may notice, by the way, he did not roll at all. He literally took, I'm going to rewind a little bit because this is important, but he fucking, see, this is a shop, ready? He levels, sorry, I thought I saw something. He bought the first shop during Krugs, and he's just sticking with it, right? And that's kind of what you need to do when you're kind of open forwarding, is that, like, if your HP is kind of decent, you have to understand, like, okay, now that I am still losing, how little money can I spend to spike my board enough that the losses are either still not too terrible, but they're still losses, so I keep my streak going, or do I start winning, right? And when you're open forwarding, you really need to know like when you're going to start winning. It's really, really important. 76 HP with a 5 loss. He's probably going to start... I guess he's going to start winning now, but he could honestly keep blue streaking in this spot. He has enough HP to work with. But anyways, going into 3-2, we're given stationary support, overwhelming, and uplink from the spot. Now, there is one very clear, obvious choice as to what is the best augment in this scenario. I want you to see if you can guess what it is. I'll give you a hint. It's not overwhelming fucking force. That shit is trash. Actually, is it trash? Just me just typing on the... do you have a decision yet? I'm gonna assume you do. Anyways, it's uplink. 100% uplink every single time. Stationary support, yes, it's a goated fucking augment, but there is a bit of a problem with it. That, yes, even though it has a higher average, uplink, we are playing caretakers in this spot. So, because we're playing caretakers in this spot, we're gonna give so many components, so many items, that we are gonna have so much uplink value. And also another thing to keep in mind is that, personally speaking, I don't really like playing stationary support whenever I'm playing KDA on my board. The main reason is because the KDA hexes can make it a little difficult to play around. all the stationary item stuff like Zeke's stuff like Locket, right? You get like the whole like the whole five, right? The 5 shebang, if you will. That's not a saying, but I mean, not regardless though, I do really like this IE slam as well with the uplink choice, because again, bunch of components, get a lot of uplink value, and we are going to be super duper strong once we are level 8. Get all the components out, get all our components back from wolves and krugs. We're going to be in a really good spot. They might be wondering why the IE slam real quick, but again, like I said before, red buff IE, our Seraphine is just item holding for us, and we are chilling. And we are actually level 7 on 3-2, in case you weren't aware. 3-2 level 7, this is, by the way, a really common thing I've noticed myself doing as well. It's just because, like, when you're like 60 gold and you've already kind of spiked your board enough, just playing up a fawn is usually enough. Like, you're playing up a whole extra unit against a lot of people who are still level 6 at 3-2. So if you open for it, you manage to get that 5 loss, and you manage to get lucky with the matchmaking a little bit, right? You have a lot of economy. And when you're 3-2 level 6, you have a lot of money. To the point where if you level, you usually have like 30 left over. And if you have 30 left over, you might as well just fucking level. Like, what are you rolling on 6 for, right? Not a lot most of the time. So I really like the level to 7 here, 30 left over, and we have so much economy to work with, and we are chilling in this beautiful spot. We do have a Lulu 2 on our board, which is a little awkward in my opinion. I don't really like Lulu 2 in general. I think it's great if you're playing like Spellweavers and shit, but I mean, it's an okay unit. Gives you CC, gives you damage. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm talking out of my ass a little bit. Like, it's good. It makes sense. I don't know why I'm saying, like, I don't get why he didn't buy it. Like, you're not gonna buy an upgraded unit. Like, you're gonna buy it. Like, okay, it makes sense. Anyways, 30 gold, 3-5, level 7, chilling. And actually, a bunch of fucking gold on our bench as well. We can't exactly make 40, at least from what I can see. I believe we could, but then we have to sell the Echo, and I mean, we're not gonna sell fucking Echo. I mean, that unit's just too good. Echo is, by the way, in terms of 3 costs, is so fucking elusive. Like, everybody and their mother wants to have an Echo on their board. KDA players, Spellweaver players, True Damage players, 6 Sentinel already players, right? So this Echo unit fits in like literally every comp. It's too good. So I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why it's hard to find an Echo too. So having to sell the Echo to make Econ is just never really good practice. Also, by the way, some people in this spot, look at his bench. He has Echo Pair. Echo Pair. Pair, he has the Garen, and he has Thresh and Kaisa. There are people who will make the argument that he should make 50 in this spot. Why? Right? And the idea is that, like, the idea is, oh, you make 50, then you're at maximum interest, and you're getting that extra gold. But in general, you should hold the pairs that you know you're going to eventually play the upgraded version of their form. Is that English? Does that make sense? Basically, he knows this Echo 2 is going to stay on his board for a very long time. So, or at least it's very likely. So, holding the pair makes way more sense. You will save a lot more economy by keeping the pair instead of selling it. And it will cost you less money in the long term than selling the Echo, making the Econ threshold, but then having to find it again. Does that make sense? Yeah, but anyways, that was something, by the way, that was something that, like, I kind of struggled with for a little while. But, like, really important pairs, you should hold them. Like, you should hold them. I definitely, when I first started playing TFT, I definitely didn't do that. And I think a lot of people don't value their pairs enough. They care too much about hitting that Econ threshold, and then, hey, that was a valuable pair, and then you just fucking lost it. Like, you're losing more money in the long term by doing so. It's not good practice. So, just keep that in mind. Anyways, 66 gold on a 6 win streak, and we are given Indomitable Will, Silver Ticket, Partial Ascension. This is just all trash. Indomitable Will makes no sense. Silver Ticket makes no sense. Partial Ascension is the only one that kind of makes sense. So we're definitely re-rolling left side and middle here. Oh. Ooh. Best Friends is a 4.6. Misconnections is a 4.9. Partial Ascension is a 4.5. So Partial Ascension is like very mid in this spot. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna not take it. But anyways, looking here, I'm gonna play this at regular speed to watch the roll down here. We're gonna open sell the Seraphine, which is really, really great. Can this UI please go away? I need to see what the hell he hits. Looks like he hits. This is the Echo. It's headliner, so you can't really pick it up here in the spot. Rolls down. We're looking for anybody that can use the IE and the red buff here. Dazzler TF is not really up for consideration. It's not really that great. Also, our items are rather not that great for Disco. Big Shot Ezreal, perfect. This is exactly what we could use here. And we are chilling. We had a lot of gold to roll here, so it's really, really great. IE, red buff, definitely both go onto Ezreal. He does have a GS as well, which I'm a little surprised by. I don't think this GS item is very, very good, but it seems to be good enough for dish soap, so I'm not gonna say shit. But as we can see here, 2 big shot, 4 Heartsteel, 4 Sentinel. I think we could probably play 5 Heartsteel in this spot, to be honest. Saw the Lulu. Yep, agreed. And we are chilling, and we have our final component value. It looks like we're Belt, Quick Glove, Rod, and Cloak. I mean, doesn't matter what you take in this spot. It's maybe just a Cloak or Belt or Quick Glove. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Quick Glove for like potentially Hodge or JG for the Kane. I like that a lot. And we are playing 5 Heartsteel, 4 Sentinel at stage 4. So a very awkward and weird board, and we have a bunch of crap on our bench as well. We should make 20 in this spot if you ask me. We have a lot of units that like we're not really paired with, so it's very unlikely that we're playing them at all. But I guess Dishsoap doesn't think his spot is strong enough. I guess he's also sitting on a lot of pairs. He has the Echo pair, he has the Mordekaiser pair. Both of these are pretty substantial. Also has the Yone pair now, but looks like he digs a bit deeper to try to hit these pairs. I would argue, honestly, though, you don't really need to roll for these pairs. Just because you're rolling for these, but like, what else are you rolling for outside of that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's that much he's really rolling for. I guess he's trying to keep the streak going, but he also teched into Heartsteel, so I think being okay with losing is fine as well. I don't think he has enough pairs to justify rolling here. I think making 20 and starting to work up your way to 9 is probably the best form of practice in this spot. But he's also like 1500 fucking LP. So, I mean, maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but that's just my personal opinion. Hits the Mordekaiser 2 here. Only has Echo pair. And I think that's basically about it. He does have the Jin. He does have the Illusion on bench as well. Jin, in general, I don't think is a very strong unit. And is actually not a unit you can even really consider unless you have a mana regeneration item. He doesn't use attack speed at all. His actually bonus attack speed gets converted into AD. So items like Red Buff, which are sort of like, you might hear a lot of people say like, oh yeah, Red Buff is basically like a Shojin because it gives so much attack speed. It's basically casting for free. It doesn't work on Jin. It just doesn't work on Jin. So I don't really agree with holding the Jin in this spot. Sure, the maximum cap is like Jin 2, Ezreal 2, but like to hold it here, I'm not 100% sold on. We're also playing 5 Heartsteel here, so maybe after we get juiced out here, we can also just like pivot out of Heartsteel as well. Probably pivot into either 3 Heartsteel or maybe even just completely out of it. Completely out of Heartsteel though with this little gold, I don't really think makes a lot of sense here. But it's definitely pivot from 5 to 3, if not 0. But again, going from 5 to 0 is very, very expensive, so I don't really see that being the case. But we do have a Kiana on bench, so we definitely want to play that. We get, let's see, bow, cloak, and sword. Pretty decent. I'm actually down to just start open selling the, I believe it would be the Set and the Cassante here. Play like the Echo and like Kiana, and then, or like the Kiana +1 and see where it goes. It's just for like a little bit extra economy here. But I'm being very nitpicky here. It's playing very well. So takes the Rod here. Makes a lot of sense. We do have Sona as well. So we do have Ginsu Shojin, which makes a lot of sense. Some of the best items here. Naked Sona is like easily like a terrible fucking unit. We also dropped down to 3 Heartsteel, which is really, really prudent. But when you have things like Ginsu, items like Shojin, the Sona unit suddenly becomes like the best fucking like fill unit that you could ever put into your board. So I really like this. The Ginsu Shojin is really, really nice. And I'm trying to remember why I chose this VOD in particular to watch, because so far you might be watching this being like, oh, like all the decision makes sense. We finally saw the Jin, which I agree with, thank God. But you might be wondering, like, what is so special about this VOD? Right, we open 40, we high rolled the matchmaking, so we got our 5 laws, and we were able to be level 7 at 3-2. What is so special about this game in particular? Now, in this game, what I found the most exciting was the usage of Sona in this particular game. Right now, Dish Soap is playing attack speed Sona. And for good reason. I think whenever we think about Sona, we think about attack speed Sona. It's unanimously agreed on that it's easily the best at all of them. But is it actually attack speed Sona in the spot? Right now, Dish Soap's frontline, with the exception of the Mordekaiser 2, it's kind of shit, right? We're Mordekaiser 2, but we have Cassante 2. I mean, I guess that's also an upgraded unit. But we have an Echo 1, Kane 1, Blitz 1, fucking Kiana 1, right? Like, I mean, Kiana's a good unit, but like, it's not, I mean, that's no allowy, right? So our frontline is pretty shit, and we have Ascension. So healing Sona does make some sense in this scenario, because if you go healing Sona, it actually sustains the fight long enough that you can get that Ascension proc going, and then once our frontline is actually fortified significantly more, then we can go back to the attack speed one, because DPS isn't really the name of the problem that we're facing right now. It's actually just hitting our Ascension bonus and then being able to win out. So we actually kind of need the sustain going on here, because our frontline is just too weak. So levels to 9 here, really, really great here. I believe, I don't exactly remember when he does it, but I believe sooner or later he does eventually pivot out of this attack speed Sona and then pivots into the healing one. Also, beautiful fucking shop. Thresh 2, we get the Alawi, we get the York as well. We're already approaching our max cap. Now, you may also notice, by the way, Dish Soap, he is so fundamentally sound. Like, this guy, like, basically, he knows never to play a weaker board. You're always trying to play into a stronger board. Always trying to play into a stronger board, right? And I love that a lot because, you know, we're playing this Mordekaiser 2 for so long, but now switching it out for the Thresh 2, which is a stronger upgrade. And we are chilling in our current spot. Like, there's nothing much else to really say. Sure, we have the set one with the Alawi one, but our board is just progressively. Like, if you see, like, Dish Soap's board strength throughout the progression of an entire game, it just keeps spiking and spiking and spiking and spiking. He just keeps getting stronger, 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 stronger. And that's great. There's so many times in this set where I think a lot of people are struggling because a lot of players, they will 4-2 it and then their board dips in power. That should never happen. You should always be playing a stronger and stronger and stronger board, and your board as the game progresses should incrementally keep getting stronger and stronger. So I feel like I've been a bit of a broken record over here, but like, you get the idea though. Like, you should really consider these like, think to yourself, like, are you actually weaker? Because if you are, you probably did something wrong, right? So just keep that in mind. You know, just keep that in mind. Anyways, holding on to the Lucian pair here. Really interesting to be holding on to Lucian pair here. But I think we've been holding on to this for a while. We do have the Sona 2 as well. We are definitely not going 9 this game. I don't think the lobby will last as long. It'll take too long. Reforge the bow here. He takes IE here, right? I remember he takes IE here, and I'm thinking I don't agree. I actually really like the Crown Guard on the set here, and then tier on Kiana, because I don't think this Kiana one's killing anything. But getting the cyber value and getting the knockup is important, right? I don't know. Small nitpick, but again, really, really good spot. Now, we're really just looking for this Lucian 2, the Ziggs 2, and we're just going to cap out with a very standard, very as old as time. I mean, not as old as time, but as old as set 10. Endgame board, which is the Lucian Bard Ziggs combo. Very, very strong. Nowadays, you're seeing people gravitate more towards the, I believe it's the Jin MF, like, fucking Bard Ziggs combo, like, for, like, Giga capping out. But it's a really hard cap out to hit. And Ziggs 2 is, like, not amazing, right? But with Jin and Ziggs together, they fucking, it's like the fusion thing from Dragon Ball Z. Like, they're fucking, it's so strong, so strong. So, currently, we're chilling. So, I think at this point, we're basically just, like, donkey rolling. There's no real reason to just, like, keep saving up economy and then rolling down. The only reason being is because we're sitting on Lucian pair, we're Kayn pair, we're Ziggs pair, we're Alawi pair. Like, there's so many strong pairs that we can hit on 9 that it just makes sense to keep donkey rolling. So, this is going to be the name of the game for basically the rest of the game. Our front line, by the way, is fortified quite a bit at this point in the game, so I think it's a good time to switch back to attack speed Sona. We do have the Alawi, we do have the Thresh 2, we do have the Set 2, Kiana, Tentacles, a lot of shit just in the front. I'm pretty sure we just switch over to attack speed Sona and it makes a lot of sense here. I don't really think I saw anything on the carousel that really stood out to me as like, oh, like we definitely need that. Looks like he's open selling all of the Heartsteel to try and cap out his board here. Alawi 2, nice. Hits the Lucian 2 as well, super great. How to sell the Ziggs pair, which is kind of unfortunate here. And oh my god, this is so beautiful. I remember, okay. A bit of a spoiler, but just watch this turn. Just watch this turn. We're gonna rewatch this turn. We'll just watch it normal speed. There's so much good shit that happens during this turn, okay? So, look at this board, okay? So, currently, we have Heartsteel in, we have this Sona 2 in, we have this Set, and we have the Kiana, right? Not even Kiana paired. We know our max cap is Lucian 2 with Ziggs 2, and all that jazz. Alawi 2, right? Mordekaiser 2. These are the units that we're looking for. But, did you count how much shit we have to put into our board? Because, if you counted, this Kiana can't stay. She's gotta go. So Dish Soap has been thinking about this turn for long enough, and he goes, holy shit, hold on a minute. I can't play Kiana this game. So I'm going to sell the Kiana this turn, sell the Set, sell the Kayn. Sell both Kayns actually on bench, because Kayn 2 is not our strongest board ever. And potentially even sell the Sona here, depending on how things happen. So as we see here, he's rolling. Sells the Sona 2, Kiana sells the Kayn pair as well, and keeps rolling here for the extra economy. Rolls, he's looking, he's digging. Sees the Sona, but he skips it. Alawi 2, we hit the Lucian, which is super great. Sell the Ziggs as well. Lucian 2, and then look at the item. 10 seconds left. IE, Rudans, really solid. Sunfire for the cyber value onto the Set, really smart. goes for the tier rod onto the Ziggs. It's not the best of items, but it's fine. Switches the fucking Yoriks at the last second because he realizes the TG is on the wrong Yorick. Or he has a cloak on the Yorick, so he has to switch him, right? The only thing better he could have done is scout. Scout and position a little bit. Just shuffle the units a little bit. But that was a good fucking turn. Yeah, wallahi. That was so good. But anyways, yeah. Sorry, going back to the game here. But, I mean, like, you might watch that turn and you might just be like, oh, I could do that. That wasn't that impressive. But he's juggling so much shit there. Knows what he needs to find. He's already thought everything through. Personally, I thought that was a very well played turn. I thought it was great. It's a little awkward because I do think, while having 2 jazz is nice for our board because we do have a lot of jazz value, we actually don't have rapid fire in. So, it's not ideal. But to be fair, this bard is probably going to provide more value out of us than just, +2 rapid fire. It's also the reason why he had the Sena on his board for so long, in case you don't remember. But his Sena actually had, like, true damage, no true damage. Oh, no, it's true damage for Kiana, and that was it. So, and they were just really fit on our board here. And it's so very, very, again, very prudent of him to sell it because I know for me, personally, during that turn, I would have thought, oh, I need to keep Sena for rapid fire and true damage. But, I mean, he's just better than me. So, I mean, this is probably why. But anyways, final turn, 6-7. It is looking like we are, I believe we're secured at top 3 at this point, right? Top 2. Very great. And we hit the Ziggs 2. Very, very great. But unfortunately, I believe our opponent, Iloda and A, has a, I believe that is that, did I say that right? It is Yone 3 and Viego 3. Yep, the Viego 3. Right there in the middle, right, hiding right behind the dummy here. So, I don't think he's winning. What do you think? I don't think there's no fucking winning this one. But we'll play the last fight in regular speed here. But it looks like we have the Viego 3 stuck behind the Kiana and the Yone here. But it's finally back in action. Looks like it is coming down. It's slowly making its way actually towards all of the carries here. But every time it ults, it just clears everything. But down to the final 2 here. Oh, now the Legion can't clean. And Digital goes second. So, pretty unfortunate. It's actually really, really close because the other guy actually almost griefed the positioning of the Viego. But, nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. That is the end of the game. I hope you guys have learned something. And I hope we'll come back with more VOD reviews. But, until then, I'll see you guys all later. I hope this was fine with the amount of Jesus coughing I was doing. But, I'll see you guys all later. Take care, guys, and happy climbing.